Alrighty. Let's go ahead and stop this here. Yeah, I have a smoother way, I should say, of doing that, and I just haven't experimented with it yet. Because I gotta combine some shit together. Anywho, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the newsroom, and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report, brought to you by SNORTBUCKS Coffee Company, the best beverage company. Let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully, I have made an. I'll name this segment later. I'm pretty sure I have, to be honest, but I may have not. You know what I'm saying? This 4th of July weekend has been pretty fun. In any case, if we have or we haven't, whatever, we here now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about the conspiracy, the gay ops. You know what I'm saying? The cabal of Dents that DSP has brought together to take down his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics. You don't know what I'm talking about? You should know. He just talked about that shit on July 3rd, I believe, about how about basically he laid the whole shit out. He laid out how the whole situation is going to play out, to be honest. And he said it with a level of certainty that makes me think a couple of things, but it also kind of reinforces some theories I already had. In any case, let's go ahead and jump through. Let's go ahead and I'll lay the whole plot out to you for the most part. Let's see here. Snowball's coffee drop. All right, so let's go ahead and move into the situation. I'm kind of speeding through this a little bit because I need you guys to see this nonsense. He said it with such certainty. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with my favorite segment. I hope your favorite segment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. So, DSP on July 3rd admitted that there will be a flagging campaign that will be taking place July 15th when this alleged new initiative that YouTube is going to be rolling out as it pertains to basically AI slop content, reuse content, and some other things too. DSP didn't read everything. He just saw that original content and he immediately thought he was going to be okay. But there's so much more to it than that. On top of that, I honestly don't think the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics are going to get slapped down the way he thinks it's going to happen. But that's why he actually admitted that there are going to be people that are going to flag other channels down to test and see if it can or if it will work. It's amazing how this shit kind of flew under the radar, so to speak. I'm sure some people actually caught it, but I'm really stunned. I'm stunned that this piece of shit thought he could say this shit and get away with it. In any case, he basically admits to gay ops. He admits that, hey, there are going to be people who are going to be flagging down detractor channels on July 15th to in line with this alleged new initiative or policy, even though it's not a new policy, by the way. But whatever. There's this new thing going on the 15th. It's supposed to be enacted. He's going to have people false flagging it. He says that he has his hooves up. No bodies on him. He has nothing to do with it. But he says with such certainty that he knows people are going to get flagged. That people are going to go out and be flagging this shit. You can't tell me that it's not a gay op. But Phil is so stupid and so petty and so resentful that he's going to go for broke. And then to follow that up, he believes if he can get the quote-unquote restreamers knocked out, then he can start going after everybody else too. Even though DSP will tell you, oh, well, you know, if your content is transformative, I don't care, no big deal. But then, you know what I'm saying, if this shit works, he'll just go ahead and say hateful content, hateful content, hateful content, and he'll go about it that way. In any case, excuse me, I got the whole situation clipped up from you, and we'll jump into it, and let's see if you see what I see. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and let's go ahead and put our chessboard up, because he really think he doing something out here. He really think he doing something out here. Holy shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is brought to us by RawPhil. Big ups to RawPhil and whatnot. Cut by yours truly, which means it wasn't cut very well. I can admit, I can actively admit that to you now. It's not cut very well. Let's see here.
I hope that you will.
All right, here we go. All right, so like I said, but big ups to RawPhil though. You know what I'm saying? RawPhil is on they job, and clearly DSP is really just, as it pertains to the people DSP is targeting, I really think it really comes down to 3 people, possibly 4, because you know he's always gonna have his hate bonus for those black folk. So actually 4 people, but his main targets is RawPhil, Dark Dave, Duty, and Tevin. If I had to guess, those are his main targets that he wants. Now he knows that he's not going to get anything to stick with Tevin, so that makes it fall back to 3. And I don't watch Duty, but I'm sure he has all these bells and whistles floating around that there's nothing that they can really slap him for. So it's just going to be Dark Dave and Raw, and even then, I feel like that both of those guys are transformative enough that DSP doesn't have a leg to stand on, to be honest with you. So, and more importantly than that, even more importantly, let's say it that way, DSP has a history of flagging down people. You know what I'm saying? For whatever bullshit reason. Like, let's go back to the Super Crazy arc for just a second. Think of this as an extended TED Talk. Think about the Super Crazy situation. He admitted to flagging him just because, to teach him a lesson. And then he thought about it, was like, well, it wasn't really right. It was transformative, and I'll take it back. If that right there should have gotten DSP Gaming cut down. DSP Gaming should have at least caught a suspension for that. Off rip. And he was able to get away with it clean. But then DSP thinks he can turn around and use this shit to go after other people? And not only is he a known doxer, but he's not going to want to dox. He's going to want other people to do that for him. He's a known false flagger, right? And he's a pathological liar, so there's nothing you can take, like, there's nothing you can say that, well, nothing he can say that holds any real merit. Like, it's insane. It's insane. I should have I'll name the segment later that goes over this a little bit more, but in any case, just silly ass shit. Silly ass shit. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with RawPhil. This is from July 3rd of 2025. And what did I title this? Just out of curiosity. Let's see here. Darkside Phil speaks on his plan to mass flag Detractor channels. So that's exactly what it is. And you'll hear it. You'll hear it all raw and uncut, Phil. You know what I'm saying? No one took you out of context. This is what you said. This is what you said. So here we go. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's kill that, because then if not, it's gonna you guys are gonna get a whole lot of feedback loop, and no one likes that. Here we go.
I hope that you will join me. Yes, Mozzie, I'll be writing names all over my body for contributions. Anyone who contributes $50, I'll write your name. I'll tattoo it all over my body, so I'll look like the Inked Man, or of course.
Yeah, that joke hit really well, Phil. I mean, but you're already an e-whore. You may very well be one of the first, if not the original e-whore. I don't understand what the problem is. On top of that, DSP is still out here, from what I'm hearing, saying that he was the first Let's Player or whatever he wants his, like, fucking flowers or whatever bullshit on that. He should be known as the very first, if not the first, one of the most prominent e-beggars ever. And probably one of the most famous, because being prominent and being famous are two separate things. But he should, well, most notorious, not like that, and infamous. He should be the most notorious and infamous e-beggar to ever grace online. He should be known for that. And I know we use things like e-beggar, grifter, which is a difference between the two. But if you're just talking about straight up e-whore, the father of e-whores, that's him. You're talking about one of the most infamous, shameless e-beggars. It should be him. He should be eating those things. He should be putting those things on shirts and selling that shit as merch. But see, he still think he people. He still think he people. So that's why it's not happened yet. But you never know.
That stupid gimmick that everybody else does. But, I mean, in reality,
the stupid gimmick that other people do. Look at his setup. And remember, years ago, he said all of that shit was stupid gimmicks. All those setups and everything, all those props, that took away from the actual streamer, from the actual entertainment, from the content. And look at how he got on his knees like a good whore in doing that shit. Look at all the shit he ain't talking about Nintendo, but he got a blue shell back there. Good God. But he has the nerve to say, or to call other people sellouts or shills. Make it make sense?
That's actually what the whole vests and hat thing was about. If you remember.
No, it wasn't. Now you want to say that the vest and hats and the vest and hat thing was you taking shots at e-whores. Let me bring this all the way back. Let's bring all of this back. All of it. He's really going to try to sell it like that?
I hope that you will join me. Yes, Mozzie, I'll be writing names all over my body for
Oh, this, by the way, is in reference to his 4th of July begathon, by the way.
contributions. Anyone who contributes $50, I'll write your name, I'll tattoo it all over my body, so I'll look like the Inked Man, or of course, that stupid gimmick that everybody else does. But I mean, in reality, that's actually what the whole vests and hat thing was about. If you remember, there was an epidemic.
Husband Gold doesn't do that shit. Doesn't he pull a couple 100,000 a month? I'm just saying.
Around 2020 of people who were becoming streamers, and the only reason they were doing it was to milk money out of their viewers by doing dumb stunts, like literally taking their clothes off on stream, jumping into a hot tub or a thing of Jello, or riding an inflatable Pickle Rick and writing the names of their contributors all over their bodies. It was disgusting, quite frankly. It was revolting. It was absolutely unacceptable, morally and legally.
Morally or legally? I don't even know if we need to even speak on the moral shit. But legally, they had a whole section on Twitch for, like, what was it, beaches, bathtubs, and pools and all that bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying, or hot tubs and pools and inflatable shit and whatever. They had a whole category made up for them. Keep that in mind. But keep in mind, this is the same Dent that won't go back to Twitch because he wants a written apology. A public written apology, no less. Which doesn't really matter because they're still not going to get it monetized. Or it won't get it back into a partnership, I should say.
Therefore, I was trying to basically make a spin off of that, say, hey, if you can do that stupid shit, I can do the opposite. I'll put clothes on and make a living because you're so dumb you think you have to get naked and degrade yourself. Well, I'll put more things on and I'll do better than you. And I did. So there you go. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know who he fooling. Here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. In the span that he did the vest streak, which was, it was definitely less than a year, he made like 30 or 40,000, something like that. I think it's like 30,000, I think, over the duration or the span of the vest streak. That's all it was. Like, you have some e-girls who pull that in a week. It took him 5, I want to say vest streak went on for like 4 or 5 months. It may have gone 6, but I want to tell you it went like 4 or 5 months. If I really go back and look at it, I could probably find it. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. I'll actually do my research. I'll actually see if we can find this. Okay, so we're back. Okay, so vest streak started. This is the original vest streak, not the other 2 failed attempts that he had after that. First one started, original run was in like February. It started February of 2020 and it ended September 7th. So, you're talking about 7 months, give or take. And like I said, he made about $30,000, give or take, as it pertains to tips. I mean, keep in mind, there was other stuff floating around too. So it could have been even more than that. But if we're just talking about the vest streak itself, made about $30,000 in 7 months. Your top 10 e-thoughts on Twitch make that in a week or 2. You know what I'm saying? In a week if they're going 5 days, if they're going hard in the paint. So, yeah, that doesn't even compare. So he failed. So now the story is he was trying to dunk on e-thoughts and he succeeded. But that's a lie and he failed. And the truth was the vest streak started because they were watching one of his retrospective events. A bunch of people pointed out. He went downstairs and got it, hit the tips goal, and then he ran with it from there. That's how it really happened. But I don't need to tell that to you guys. You guys already know. So that's wild that he would lie about that after the fact. Like, people wouldn't go back and look. Or people don't remember. Oh, that's fucking silly.
So that is tomorrow. I'm excited for that, and I hope that you all are too. I just want to remind everyone, I will be off from streaming both Saturday and Sunday of this week. One day I'm going to be doing my errands and usual stuff. The other day I'm going to be spending some time with my wife.
So you're not spending time with your wife at all on Saturday? Because you're going to be out from dusk till dawn? Okay. If you will. Well, from dawn till dusk, I should say. Whatever. That's a really autistic way to try to make it seem like you're busier than what you really are. But gotcha.
I'll be back on Monday, and next week will be a balance. Okay? It's good.
Yeah, I saved you guys the trouble of that bullshit.
So I got a $2 tip from someone. Now, I've heard about this, but I don't think it's actually what people think it is. Okay? So there's a $2 tip from someone. And they said, did you hear that YouTube has a new policy that they are bringing into effect basically within a couple days? This new policy is now going to prevent unoriginal content from being monetized. Content ripped from streams without proper transformative edits, restreams, raw out of context clips. Word on the grapevine is that many detractors are in a sheer panic, and rumor has it that
it doesn't actually. I don't think the policy actually says all that. I read it on Inside Gamer and obviously on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't say all of that. But whatever.
one of them is actually paying a mortgage with the detractor and restreaming content money and is in a full-blown panic right now. Things are looking good. Do you have any thoughts?
Let's hear that back. Let's start here.
Has a new policy that they are bringing into effect basically within a couple days. This new policy is now going to prevent unoriginal content from being monetized. Content ripped from streams without proper transformative edits, restreams, raw out of context clips. Word on the grapevine is that many detractors are in a sheer panic, and rumor has it that one of them is actually paying a mortgage with the detractor and restreaming content money and is in a full-blown panic right now. Things are looking good. Do you have any thoughts? Well,
it's fantastic that that these dents are trying to get creative about it, unless they're actual trolls just trying to stir the pot. But yeah, I don't see a full-blown panic on Detractor Twitter about any of this. And that whole Detractors actually paying their mortgage off this? Okay, I guess. But anyway, I haven't heard anything about any of that, but whatever. I'm not everywhere, so it is what it is. Kind of funny, though.
here's the thing. When this was first announced, people were actually saying, oh, is this a direct response to the H3 lawsuits where Ethan Klein is suing several streamers for basically replaying his own content without permission?
It's not even the same thing, though. So no, it's not a direct response. It's literally not the same thing. And Twitch isn't saying shit, so womp womp.
Which is a violation of...
And if anything, if these initiatives were done, or if they were implemented, I should say, there are far more egregious examples where YouTube should have stepped in and done something as it pertains to Twitch streamers just blatantly taking content or whatever, rebroadcasting it or whatever. There are clear examples of that should have happened and haven't. You know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily Asmongold per se, but like Hassan Piker should have definitely been slapped the fuck out. Most of those ethos should have been slapped the fuck out. XQC should definitely get smacked the fuck up for some of his shit. Maybe not all of it, but for some of it. And you can kind of just go down the line, you can run the gambit on some Twitch streamers who just do shit. Pokimane, for one, is a fucking habitual offender of that shit and whatnot, and she's never gotten hit for that. Or disciplined, if you will. Whatever.
Copyright law. It does not, substitute or constitute fair use. And is that what's happening, that YouTube is saying, oh, well, we should be in line with this now. We're gonna actually start doing it. No, and in fact, what happened is YouTube has responded to this story saying, we're not changing anything. I'm serious. Oh, we already had this process in effect. It's already been in effect all along. That's what they said. That was their response. And everyone's really like, but you don't enforce it. What are you talking about? I
mean, truth be told, false flagging is illegal too. And they don't enforce that either. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that you should be hit with. Like, if someone was to take the time to actually come up with a list of all of the things that DSP does that breaks TOS on YouTube, Twitch, or wherever, but let's say YouTube in particular, Jesus Christ, he should have been kicked off the platform. Constantly. He should have been kicked off the platform. And just because he edits some of that bullshit out of his streams doesn't mean it don't exist. You know what I'm saying? He wants to take claim over all of his content, right? His content that's being stolen. Okay, fair enough. Then you eat all of that. You don't just go ahead and claim the shit that you want to claim so you can make money off of it. All the shit where you're telling people to walk off bridges, or they'd be better off if they never existed, or yada. Basically, him telling people to go kill themselves. He needs to own up to all that too. That right there is more than enough to get him kicked off. And then, truth be told, who's to say YouTube just doesn't do what Twitch did? Instead of Twitch going after, quote unquote, all of the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics and restreamers that are over there, They just got rid of Phil. Just like what they did with Wings. Instead of going after all of the Wings trolls and shit that Wings likes to keep flagging, which he's admitted to flagging, I should say. When he was on Twitch, they just got rid of him. And truth be told, they didn't get rid of them, they just demonetized them. That's all it was. And look at what happened to Wings at DSP. Look at what happened to LTG. But then again, LTG was doing other bullshit too that he shouldn't have been doing. So there's that. Who's to say YouTube doesn't do the same thing? If YouTube is like, hey, maybe if we need to X out the problem, instead of getting rid of dark side Phil as a whole, right? Instead of getting rid of DSP Gaming, just demonetize him. Fuck it. Just demonetize him. You're the one. Remember what DSP said all those years ago? If you have a problem, you must be the problem. Right, Phil? That's what you said all those years ago. So that right there applies to you. So if you're having all these problems and issues, then you guys might actually be the issue or the problem. So maybe DSP Gaming needs to be demonetized, and then we'll see what he does. I'm not saying in a perfect world that's what would happen, because I'm not trying to advocate for shit. I'm not out here pig whistling or nothing. But it makes you think. If you really look at that Twitch situation with him and Wings, supposedly these guys were sitting there flagging Tevin. He was Wings was flagging Real Talk, and he was flagging anybody else who was going over Wings content when Wings was there. Then all of a sudden Wings gets demonetized. DSP, he doesn't get kicked off of Twitch, he just gets demonetized. It's almost like, oh, well, you guys are the problem, so you guys fuck off. Either stick around, deal with it, and maybe you can reapply for affiliate or partner, or you can go ahead and fuck up off our platform. And what did Wings and DSP do? Just imagine if YouTube decided to follow suit. Think about it.
So the question is there actually going to be an actual change? Because YouTube literally responded to the story saying, no, we're actually not changing anything. This has already been in our policy all along. But could that be corpo speak saying, oh, actually, you shouldn't have been doing these things all along, and now we're finally going to enforce them? The way I see it, excuse me, I'll believe it when I see it. So let's see what happens.
It's too bad that none of the dents over there are like that. Don't take DSP's word for shit until you actually see him do something. Just like how he keeps lying that these food apps, he'll hype up a particular food product or whatever, or fast food joint or whatever. Then when it's time to pay up, all of a sudden, oh, well, I can't get it delivered now. I can't do this. I can't do that. Then why'd you promote that? Why are you sitting here allowing these people to get hyped up over this shit when you know you can't get it? Just like that Krabby Patty situation. Let's go further than that. Video game related. Look at what he did with that Mario Sunshine shit and Spiral the Dragon. He tried to play a bait and switch on that and thought they were going to eat it, and they didn't. And then they forced him to basically play Mario Sunshine. But truth be told, that was only because the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics stayed on those fucking Dents asses and shit. And then that forced the Dents to keep the boot on fucking DSP's neck to do the playthrough. DSP had no intention of doing it, because if you guys remember your lore, DSP was playing Mario Odyssey, and he was playing Mario plus Rabbids, and he couldn't monetize any of that shit on YouTube. Like, at that time, you just couldn't monetize Nintendo shit unless you were under their program. So all of the money he was making was literally off Twitch. And that's why he didn't want to play Mario Sunshine, but he kept it up there because it was, you know what I'm saying, they were hitting the goal because of it. And then he pulled a bait and switch and said, okay, I'm already playing 2 Mario games. We're not going to play Mario Sunshine right now, but I will play it. I owe it to you. I'll play Spiral the Dragon, so this way you guys get a reward for hitting the goal, which that sounds retarded in itself. And then what he was going to do was hopefully they would forget, right? And then he would go ahead and hit them with, he would basically double tap their ass. He would cherry pick it, basically, and cherry pick it again for another, like, funding goal, and then have them hit the goal again, and then he would do it. That's essentially what he was trying to do. And truth be told, with that pickle situation, what was it, that Sonic bullshit? Didn't they already hit the goal for that? And then he swore it up and down that he couldn't find it on the app, this, that, and third. And then what? Less than a week later, all of a sudden, it's back on the app now. Now, all of a sudden, they can do it. But then he don't want to drive to Sonic because what? Sonic is 6 miles away. He can't drive 10 minutes, if less, to get there and pick it up and come back. Why couldn't he ask Cat to do that? And so now, well, I'm not sure where we're at in the current timeline, but like now he ain't sat there trying to finesse these guys to pay for something that they've already paid for. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Just like what he did with the Krabby Patty shit. Oh, I can't get it delivered to me. Oh no, he said his local Wendy's didn't have it on the menu. Oh, then he said it wasn't on the delivery app. And then he came up with some lame ass reason that other people were making fun of him because he couldn't get it. And it's just a generic Dave special or whatever. So it's not that, not that big of a deal. He decided to do the Addams Family shit at Burger King. Then he had another goal after that where Burger King had those 3 street food burgers. He was supposed to do that shit. Instead, and he was going to have to do it because eventually that's what they end up winning the poll or whatever. Then he ends up baiting and switching and going and doing something at Wendy's instead. It's all about fucking lame ass control and shit. He doesn't want to actually do what these people are telling him to do. He'll tell you that. He'll tell you, oh, I'll do what you guys want. But he really don't. If he can figure out a way to get out of something, he will. It's just the way he is. Fucking lame. It's lame as shit. Shouldn't be unexpected though.
All right. When this happens, if it goes into effect, whenever it is, I think it's a few days, right? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen.
I want you to take this in. And yes, we will be repeating this a couple times. Maybe. But I did at least one more time. I want you to take this shit in, what this motherfucker's about to say.
People are going to start mass flagging stuff. All right? They are. It's not going to be me, because you know me, I don't bother with any of this shit. But people will start mass flagging people who are these clippers, these restreamers, these re-uploaders. It's just going to happen.
How do you know? How do you know?
And then basically it's going to test the waters.
Then it's going to test the waters. How do you know?
Are these people going to survive, or all of a sudden will their channels completely be demonetized, right?
Literally admitting the false flagging. Here, bring this back. Just another flaming false faggot. No wonder fucking, well, he's a faggot too, but definitely flag it is what I actually meant to say. But I'll stand by both of them. Fuck it. Like, that's bullshit. That's literally on some Review Tech USA shit. But, I mean, it's on some Monday Mash shit too. They're all flaming fucking false flaggets. So it is what it is. But that's fucking lame. How do you know? How do you know? He's saying that, I want you to peep this shit. This isn't me taking shit out of context, ladies and gentlemen. Peep this shit. He knows for sure they will be flagged. That's what he's saying. And he's saying that with the level of certainty that you wouldn't know that unless you're participating in it. And that's why, because I'm going to keep ringing the bell on this bullshit and whatnot, or I'm going to keep beating the drum on this shit. Sooner than later, we're going to find out about that Tevin shit. Whether DSP and whatever other piece of shit that was behind flagging down Tevin and those other 2 fellas Twitch channels back in the day, sooner than later someone's gonna come out and rat on that shit. Sooner than later.
Okay. Roughly we're gonna end between 7:30 p.m. tonight. FYI. Maybe on the earlier side. I don't really feel like going super long tonight. Some people earlier were asking what happened to Khet. Bottom line is she's, basically bummed out that so many people were trolling. And it sucks because I knew that was going to happen. As I've told you guys, previously, Khet has nothing to do with myself or my content or any of the negativity associated with me. And she thought, oh, this would be something nice to do, to dress up for Halloween and come by the stream and hang out with everyone. And the excessive amount of trolling that was going on basically got to her. And she says, I want to go do other stuff. I've been here for 2 games and I'm not in a good mood anymore. And I want to go do other stuff. So she did, basically. She went on, she's actually not even home right now. She wanted to leave because she was in such a bad mood. And it sucks. Because I would, honestly, if the trolling wasn't so bad and if things weren't so nasty, she probably would be in my stuff a lot more often. But that's the reason why she really hasn't been in anything, because the trolling got so nasty. Stuff about stupid shit, about her looks, about her past, stuff that has nothing to do with anything going on. And, it pisses me off because this is something special that we were building up and talking about for weeks and weeks, and she was really excited for it, and she went and got a costume for it and everything. And here she is she was going to start doing commentary. The first thing she sees when she looks at stream chat is trolling and nasty shit about her. And it totally turned her off, and basically after 2 games, she was like, I just don't want to be there anymore. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to make you. You know, if you really are upset, you know, it sucks. And I just want to say thanks to the mods. The mods are doing a good job today. I don't want the mods to feel like they didn't do a good job or whatever. They did. Like when it was happening, I saw they were shutting it down fast. But, you know, there's nothing much else that we can do. You know, there's a sick motherfucker on the internet called Tevin who likes to illegally restream my fucking streams and has an army of fucking trolls who are the only reason why he has any notoriety is because he copies my shit, and he eggs his trolls on to do negative shit like this, to come to my stream and to basically make fun of my girlfriend and do nasty shit. It's his fault that this kind of stuff happens, and anyone who supports that kind of fucking content is a mentally ill asshole who has no fucking conscience or morals. And the bottom line is the only reason he does it is because he knows he can get away with it because YouTube won't shut down his streams, even though what he does is completely illegal. They don't care. YouTube does not give a shit. So he runs away. He can't do it on Twitch anymore. He's banned from Twitch from doing it. So now he has to go other places where basically it's like the Wild West and they won't listen and they won't shut down stuff that's illegal or bullying or you know, that kind of stuff. You know, and it sucks because we were looking forward to today a lot. And basically after 2 games, she was so upset. She was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I'm not having fun because I can't. If I say a word, people criticize me about anything that I say, my looks, and, you know, I just don't want to do it anymore. So, it sucks, you know. But it is what it is. You have complete fucking utter losers on the internet who will insult people who've never done a damn thing to hurt anyone. And it makes me angry, and it obviously upsets her. But there's nothing we can do to control it, and I apologize for that, guys. You know, it is what it is. And, you know, we just got to move on. What else can I say, right? So, all I can say is, sadly, you know, don't expect Khet to be on stuff frequently. You know, this was a rare occurrence where we had her on for something special. And look what happened because of fucking Tevin and his shithead fan base. And it's directly their fault 100% and nobody else's. Because, you know, oh, I make my living and notoriety off of making fun of Phil. You're a scumbag. And you don't deserve any popularity you ever got, and you are eventually going to pay for what you're doing, just so you know. It always comes back to bite you in the end. You will end up having it hurt you in one way or another long term. It ain't going to be me, but something's going to come back to get you in the end. When you do so much negativity and just toxic shit, it's going to come back to get you, trust me. But it is what it is. I can't stop him, you know, I can't do anything about it. It sucks, and that's life, right? You know, so anyway, that's what happened, because a lot of people were wondering what the hell happened when she was on the stream. She didn't look, she was having fun, and then she left after 2 games. I thought she was going to be here all day. That was the plan, and the whole thing got shut down because of that shithead over there. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to set it up. We're going to watch DSP Tries It together here. Okay. And then after DSP tries it, again, I do want to say thank you guys very much for all of your support today. I really do appreciate it. Cheers, subs, tips are great today. You know, apologies that happened and now Khet's not here. That wasn't the plan. It's Tevin's fault. And outside of that, there's nothing I can do. I wish I could shut him down or whatever. There's no way. YouTube doesn't care. YouTube allows illegal restreaming constantly, and they never do anything about it. If they actually had any conscience or any humans working for them, he would have been shut down, you know, a million years ago, but they don't give a shit. Okay? All right. So, let's go ahead and do this and get this set up for DSP Tries It. And we'll go from there. Just to forewarn everyone,
especially if shit goes south and someone needs to come across and say something. And to be honest with you, and I'm about to bring up the Anonymous shit. I don't even know if he was around for that. He might have been. But out of everything that came out of Anonymous's mouth and shit and whatnot, and out of his diaper, I always wondered if he knew anything about that false flagging thing. And I don't think he ever said anything about it, which is unfortunate because, you know, he was deep in the trenches for a time. Now, Swaggins and whatnot, he might know. Vidal, even though Vidal wasn't even around at that time, he might have heard some rumblings and shit. KG might know something. Somebody knows something about that. For sure, for sure. And I'm sure that a few of the people who were involved with that fucking flagging campaign are still around. And the fact that none of them have spoke up yet it absolutely kind of fucks with me a little bit. So either DSP has all of their doxes and whatnot, and that's why no one's wanting to talk, or all those guys just chose to fade the fuck out and just be done with it. I'm not sure, but sooner than later it's going to come out because someone's going to know something. Someone knows something, but someone's going to eventually speak up on that. Sooner than later. Sooner than later. See, DSP don't ever bring that up because he thinks, oh, it's a long time ago. No one, he can have plausible deniability, so to speak. Unless you're willing to go back and find it. Because he did address it. Actually, he addressed it in the, when did he actually address that? Give me a second. Let me get it together. Let's see. He mentioned it during the, 7-year thing. The addressing 7 years of slander bullshit. This is during the Pro Jared situation, right? That's after those tweets, after DSP's tweets, quote unquote, went viral. And he decided to address that then. If I find that, I'll clip that in here.
I said that I could do that. All right, here's a legit question. Someone tipped me $1 and asked, did I get Almighty Tevin kicked off of Twitch TV? No. I wholeheartedly will 100% tell you to your face, look into the camera as I say it as well, in case someone said, oh, Phil wasn't looking to the camera. I didn't get Tevin banned from Twitch. I had nothing to do with it at all. Zero. I didn't even know about it until after the fact. People came into my chat and told me. What happened is he pissed off people. Like when you do stuff that not only negatively affects me, but affects other people, you piss off the wrong people, man. And you gotta understand that, like, people will eventually hold you accountable for shit that you've done. And he is the kind of guy that thinks that everything's fair game, and he can bring up shit about, my relatives and shit about other people, like my moderators and my viewers. And he thinks that it's all funny, and it's not. It's fucked up that you would bring in personal shit like that. And I get the feeling that he rubbed the wrong person the wrong way, and they wrote Twitch management and said, what the fuck is going on with this guy? Did you watch 5 minutes of his stream to see what the fuck he's doing? And they got him shit canned. All right, I had nothing to do with it at all. I don't know if that's really the case. That's my speculation, but I have no truth about any of that. Okay. Okay. Tokido Bison had cheered again. He says, was it Tevin's fault? I don't know. I'm assuming it was something he did. I wasn't me though. So, okay. Someone just tried to do I said that I could do that.
So we can't talk about Khet. We can't talk about Pandalee. It's still so much stuff we can talk about.
Someone tipped me $1 and asked, did I get Almighty Tevin kicked off of Twitch TV? No. I wholeheartedly will 100%.
What about texting Bill Purnell? Would have been a lot better to ask about those other two people. There's no way Twitch ran around and banned 3 fucking people for making fun of DSP on other websites.
I didn't even know about it until after the fact. People came into my chat and told me.
Right.
What happened is he
posted in his chat in the middle of the night the day I got banned on Twitch, by the way.
That not only negatively.
He was up in the middle of the night in his chat talking about it.
Wrong people, man. And you gotta understand that, like, people will.
DSP never pissed off the wrong people too.
And he is the kind of guy that thinks that everything's.
Yeah, tell me what kind of person I am, DSP.
My relatives.
You don't watch my videos though, right? But you know what kind of person I am.
And my viewers. And he thinks that it's all funny, and it's not.
You know what kind of person I am, but he don't watch my stuff.
Shit like that, and I get the feeling that he rubbed the wrong person the wrong way.
OOF.
And they wrote Twitch management and said, "What the fuck is going on with this guy?"
Yeah, a random person got 3 people banned. We pretending one person got banned because of him.
With it at all.
And he really enjoying that they only asked about me. But it was 3 fucking people.
About any of that, okay?
A random person reported 3 people and got them taken down within 2 days.
Tokido Bison had cheered again.
Did they call us murderers?
Was it Tevin's fault? I don't know. I'm assuming it was something he did. I wasn't me though. So, okay. Someone just tried to do Oh, yeah, that never happened either. So Dark tipped me $1. He says, "Can you debunk people saying that you leaked your ex-girlfriend's nude pictures on a video?" That never happened. What happened was there was a picture of my ex-girlfriend. It wasn't a picture. It was a thumbnail of a picture, I think. Now, by the way, this is from, like, again, this is, 2012, 2013, something like that, 100 years ago. And there was a little thumbnail somewhere on my desktop, or, no, it was in a folder. And I had been recording a video doing something else, and apparently the thumbnail popped up. It wasn't a nude at all. It wasn't a nude at all. There's nothing nude whatsoever in the picture. It was a thumbnail, and it was not a nude. But it was her, like, posing with her arm like this, so people assumed that it was a nude, and started saying, oh, it's a nude, it's a nude. It wasn't a nude. If it was a nude, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I would have been banned from YouTube, stupid.
The Star David, goddamn.
Yeah, that never happened either. So Dark tipped me $1. He says, can you debunk people saying that you leaked your ex-girlfriend's nude pictures? And
that did happen, though.
That never happened. What happened was there was a picture of my ex-girlfriend.
This counts as leaking a picture.
It was a thumbnail of a picture. I think.
It was a picture then.
By the way, this is from like, again.
Her titties was out in the picture, by the way. It wasn't the picture. It was a thumbnail of the picture. So the picture was in the folder.
And there was a little thumbnail somewhere on my desktop, or no, it was
he didn't leak the picture.
And I had
it was just the thumbnail of a picture that showed of a naked person. But he didn't leak the picture.
It wasn't a nude at all. There's nothing nude whatsoever in the
bare-chested Pandalee laying down on her back wasn't a nude.
Like posing with her arm like this.
Was she wearing the thinnest shirt in the world?
And started saying, "Oh, it's a nude. It's a nude." It wasn't a nude. If it was a nude, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I would have been banned from YouTube. Stupid.
Right. Like the time you jerked off and didn't get banned on YouTube?
An anonymous cheer did 111 cheer.
Bruh, fucking when Andy Walski got his channel hacked, he had literal fucking porn on his channel that day.
Thank you, baseball.
And he didn't get banned. He didn't even get a strike for it, I think. Well, maybe he did eventually.
Frogs playing golf, cheer.
I think he did eventually.
He wants me to talk about more about Tevin and Tevin using ViewBots. No, I'm not going to do that.
Not debunk stream. I'm not going to debunk anything. Remember that time you lied about a person? Not going to talk about it, dude. Sounds good.
He tried to address it there and act like he had nothing to do with it, but he did. Actually, I can almost prove that he did just because of how he's acting right here. The same type of behavior he exhibited back when it's Tevin's fault and, you know, there's going to be repercussions behind it, but it's not going to be me. I'm not going to do it. But he's going to get what's coming to him. He's going to get what... This right here kind of gives me that same type of vibe, that same type of energy. He was a little bit more mad during that Halloween marathon, though, because he wasn't getting the money he thought.
Again, I do want to say thank you guys very much for all of your support today. I really do appreciate it. Cheer subs tips are great today. You know, apologies that happened and now Khet's not here. That wasn't the plan. It's Tevin's fault. And outside of that, there's nothing I can do. I wish I could shut him down or whatever. There's no way. YouTube doesn't care. YouTube allows illegal restreaming constantly, and they never do anything about it. If they actually had any conscience or any humans working for them, he would have been shut down, you know, a million years ago, but they don't give a shit. Okay? All right. So, let's go ahead and do this and get this set up for DSP Tries It. And we'll go from there. Just to forewarn everyone, when
by parading his wife around and shit. But whatever. But this gives me the same type of energy. Same type of depth and style. And the way DSP does anything is the way he does everything. I've tried to tell you that. Yeah, let's play it back.
But people will start mass flagging people who are these clippers, these restreamers, these re-uploaders. It's just going to happen. And then basically it's going to test the waters. Are these people going to survive, or all of a sudden will their channels completely be demonetized, right? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
But how does he know? How does he know? And then he said, oh, we're going to test it out and see what happens. What do you mean? You can't tell me that's not something that he's not plotting himself. He has to. He has to. Because that's like saying, okay, yo, Golden, man. Like, yo, there's going to be a gay op on this, that, and the third. I'm going to lay everything down to you. Don't say nothing. All right, fair enough. And whatnot. And then when it happens, right, then you're super vague about that shit. Like, oh, well, you know, this situation here is going on. I'm, you know, you try to separate yourself as much away from it as possible. But DSP's an idiot. So, of course, he's going to sit there and squeal because he likes the idea of the power dynamic while also, oh, well, I'm not part of it. You know, I got plausible deniability. You're not going to find no snorts on me. I'm all hooves up on this shit. And it's not on me. It's not on me. And then again, if you go back to the flagging thing on Tevin and those other guys, it was allegedly a bunch of other people who did the flagging, and then DSP allegedly came in the end. He followed up, let's say it that way. He follows up in the end and then puts his report on those guys, and that's how those guys allegedly went down. But then DSP denies that he ever had anything to do with that. That was other people who did it. He was the managed partner at the time, so he had more pull than anybody else, essentially. Make it make sense.
I think it's a few days, right?
May 5th, or sorry, July 15th, by the way, is the date. I'll make sure that's in the title if I remember.
You know, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen is people are going to start mass flagging stuff. All right, they are. It's not going to be me, because you know me, I don't bother with any of this shit. But people will start mass flagging people who are these clippers, these restreamers, these re-uploaders. It's just going to happen. And then basically it's going to test the waters. Are these people going to survive, or all of a sudden will their channels completely be demonetized, right? I don't know. I guess we'll find out, but I'm not going to be involved in it. My job.
He's already admitting. He's literally admitting that, yo, there's already an op out there. There's already an op out there already planned up. These guys are going to get flagged. They will get flagged. I'm using his own snorts here. They will get flagged, and we're going to test the waters and see what's what. This shit's one big ass experiment for him. And I guarantee you, if he thinks if it goes off the way he hopes it goes off, then he thinks he can go after all the other content creators too. He'll take that little bit of leverage from getting rid of the quote unquote restreamers, and he'll try to use that against everybody else. How are you going to, why would you sit here and say all this? You should have kept your mouth. You should have been like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Or I haven't heard anything about it. Play stupid. Like when all these other people throw these video game titles out to you and you swear to God you don't know nothing about them. Just do that. Just play stupid and act like you don't know what the fuck they're talking about and keep it pushing. But see, he can't. His ego too goddamn big. His ego's too goddamn big. And the thing is, front facing, he said in the beginning of this that it's probably not going to work out the way that people thinks it's going to, but he's willing to try it anyway. But here's the thing that I want you guys to really take away from this. And we still got more to come, but but I really want you to take this away from it. He's already flagging people. DSP's been flagging people. Go back to the super crazy arc. Look at all that. Look at all those times you saw Dark Dave Mirrors and RawPhil in that bitch. He does that shit daily. Other people do it too. But if he's thinking, okay, I'm gonna have you guys keep doing what you're doing, and then when the 15th comes, go ahead and bum rush every person you can get your fucking hands on, and maybe we'll see what's what. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and keep the pressure on from now till the 15th, and then when the 15th happens, bombard everything. You know what I'm saying? The Gouty Wonderwaffle, or Luftwaffe actually, that motherfucker and shit. You know what I mean? Hit them with everything that we can, and then we'll see if we can actually get some results. That shit's crazy. That shit is fucking crazy. But that's literally what he's admitting to. He's literally admitting to a flagging campaign that's probably still going on. It's not going to start on the 15th. It's hopefully going to culminate into something positive for him on the 15th. That's what this is. Take it on.
Is to be right here, making content for you every day, positive content. I just don't bother with this shit. You know, I'm too busy.
And now, here's the plausible deniability. Hey, man, I'm out here working. I'm out here trying to do my job and shit like that. I don't have no time for no gay ops. Nothing on me. I'm out here working. That's other people doing that shit. And that's how DSP likes to work. He's always been like that since he's been on YouTube. Go ahead and be the fucking mouthpiece and shit. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and orchestrate everything. Kind of be like the maestro, Gouty maestro, if you will. But have other people actually do the work. And then he can have the plausible deniability. Hey, I spoke about it, but I didn't tell anybody to do nothing, and I didn't do anything. So you can't blame nothing on me. Watch how this shit play out.
My own life.
More than likely, nothing will happen, but more than likely, nothing's going to happen. But the way his mind works, though, he thinks he's got some grand scheme going on, and these dents are nothing more than fucking cannon fodder. You know what I'm saying? They're all just fucking blood bags and shit to be used and abused. And it is what it is, bro. That's fucking gross, man. To look at people like that. And he's not any different than fucking some of these other people. Like some of those people who revolve around like Hassan Piker, around Denims, around any of these pieces of shit. Fucking Pirate Software, like some of the guys that are around, like some of the people who float around that shit, they're all just the same. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking tools. You know what I'm saying? To be used, and once you're broken, we'll bring someone else in to replace you. So it's an old ass tactic that he never outgrew. And then he can't let nothing not come out of his fucking snout, out of his crooked fucking mouth, and he gives himself away. But it doesn't matter because he believes he's so damn smart As long as his fucking hoof prints aren't on anything, he'll get away clean. That's not how that works, bruh. That's not how that works. Holy fuck, bruh. If there was a bunch of reports that came in that were concisive with, hey, this guy right here is a mass flagger, a false flagger, he should be demonetized, or, well, you don't even have to say what needs to happen. Just say that this, that, and the third, he'd be fucking screaming at the top of his piggy lungs about, look at what they're doing to me. Look at what they're doing to me. He's doing that same shit right here.
So something might happen, something might not.
How are you going to go from something might happen, something might not, when he literally said these people will do this thing? These people will be flagged on such and such day. Now, what he actually means when he's saying something might happen, something might not, is there might actually be some type of repercussions for that, all that flagging to these people. That's what he's actually trying to say. But he's got the water so goddamn muddy that he's slowly but surely trying to back himself off of what he said before, because he knows he's going to get himself fucked up. Now, if you guys follow Girl World, for example, you've seen this before. If you follow Wings of Redemption for any period of time, or Rich, you've seen this before. They all come out bombastic with all this fucking confidence, with their piggy titties out. And then all of a sudden it starts to set in, oh shit, I may have said too much. Oh no, I've kind of implicated myself in some shit. And then they slowly have to ease themselves out, like bring themselves down and ease themselves back so they don't seem so guilty. You've already implicated yourself right here, not implemented. You've implicated yourself basically in the process of implementing a bunch of people to start a flagging campaign. He's saying right here, the whole system lined up. And then there's still more to come. We're still not done yet.
To be frank, I probably have one of the best legal cases of anyone on the internet to sue people for actually stealing my content. For the people who live restream me every day, which is 100% blatantly illegal, and you cannot do it under any circumstance.
And yet nothing has happened. So what does that mean? Okay.
That's out. And anyone who raw rips my content and just re-uploads it, that's out. It always has been. It's just that I've never actually exercised my legal right to do it.
No, you can't exercise your right to do shit about it. And if you went to court, if it even went that far, you would probably lose. So now you paying their court fees, you're paying your own court fees, plus your own lawyer fees, plus theirs, to be honest with you. If they negotiate that shit smart, it wouldn't be worth it. Because if that was the case, fucking these people on Twitch would be suing each other left and fucking right, and they don't. Fucking A. Pokimane only came out with that apology to PewDiePie all those years ago because she was scared that she was going to get sued. Because somewhere down the line and whatnot, there was some type of conversation where PewDiePie was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and talk to my lawyer. And she immediately got on her hands and knees, like she good for. She got on her hands and knees and said, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to. Yada, 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 yada. Especially after how she saw Alinity get roped up. She definitely didn't want no parts after that. Because, and keep in mind, PewDiePie didn't even go after Alinity fucking legally. He just basically let the 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds on her ass, and you saw what happened there. Damn, this woman said this a few years ago that she was damn near driven to suicide because of all the trolling and shit. She has to hang around Mizkif and all those guys because she allegedly still gets harassment. That's the only reason why she's hanging out with those cats and whatnot. She wanted to keep herself relevant, and she was hoping that some of the troll brigading would stop. Okay, I can get into that later. That's a whole story in itself. Some of the fuckboy shit that goes on around there. Fucking crazy, bruh. Fucking crazy. And then the fact that this is a legend. If you've ever seen Mizkif's sister, you can find her on YouTube. She's built for tough. She's built kind of thick. Anyway, supposedly Alinity was like super jealous of her for a long ass time because of how that chick was built, and she was younger than her. Like, you know what I'm saying? She would have been the prettier new model if she decided to stream or whatever, and she don't do that. I don't know what she does, but there was that right there was floating around for a good bit too. So, but then again, if it's true, Alinity and Pokimane are fucking jealous of a bunch of women over there. So make of that what you will. But that's just lame ass shit that you just hear about.
Anything about it. It's too expensive. It's too time consuming. I would have to go get a lawyer. I would have to slap people with cease and desists and lawsuits. and it's just not my style. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play games and have a good time and make a living doing it. Now,
but you don't make a living playing games, though. You make a living begging. That can be proven easily. Holy fuck, easily that can be proven.
If anything ever happened where I couldn't do that, like, for example, if all of a sudden I couldn't make a living doing it anymore because these idiots were actually stealing all my profits and I wasn't getting crowdfunding, then they'd be in hot water because I'd have nothing better to do.
Wait, now he said two things there. If he couldn't make money doing this, in that they were stealing his profits, and or he couldn't get money from crowdfunding, then he would go after them. But if you're not making, you don't make any profits off what you off what you do anyway. So we can just go ahead and give that the thumbs down right now. And then you don't make money through crowdfunding. You make money through begging. If you want to conflate begging and crowdfunding being the same thing, that's on you. But who's going to prevent you from? No one's preventing you from begging. You can be mocked and ridiculed for it, which you did. That's why Moist Critical came out there and laughed at you. That's why what's his name? Mutahard came out and laughed at you. That's why Asmongold came out and laughed at you. So what was it then? So when the bigger guys do it, oh, get on your hands and knees and do what Pokimane does. But allegedly, what allegedly she does. But go ahead and do that. But when it's everybody else, oh, they can all be taken to court. Take Mutahar to court. He ain't laughed at you a bunch of times. Take Asmongold to court and shit. He ain't laughed at you a bunch of times. He laughed at you recently. And you basically went on a 2-minute bitch fest about, why are you making fun of me, Asmongold? Why are you laughing at me, Asmongold? And then when you finally got a win, this was in Mario Kart. When he finally got a win, he's like, sitting at the Asmongold. Let him see that. But he never did that to Tevin. He never got that fucking, that bit of respect. Secret Limited never got that bit of respect. SNORTBUCKS never got that bit of respect. Makes you think. Sounds like a hypocrite, to be honest. If you're gonna go at everybody, you got to go at everybody. If you're gonna come outside, you got to come all the way outside. That means you got to come up off the stoop, off the fucking stairs and shit. You're gonna have to see what's what. But see, he don't want to do that. He don't want to do that. He wants to stay in the house, behind both doors, and up his mother's skirt, nice and safe. And go ahead and wait for Din to be fucking done and shit. You don't really want to come out here and play none of this bullshit. That's why he's so codependent on other people getting shit done. And then hopefully he could just go to YouTube and be like, hey, look at all these active cases or all these cases that have been finalized. You need to do something about the epidemic that I have over here. That's all he wants. He doesn't want to sue anybody because he knows he can't win. He legitimately knows he can't win. Let alone what information will come out of that court case. He doesn't want that out there. That's just more to humiliate him for. Think about it.
Get it? But the good news is I'm doing well for myself, so I don't waste my time on that shit. Okay?
Yet you're organizing a campaign on July 15th to mass flag a bunch of Detractor channels. Make it make sense.
So, let's see what happens. But I'm not too into it. I don't really care. I'd rather see what happens with others first. Like I said, the whole
I'm not into it. I don't care. Let me see how other people work it out first, though. So, are you invested or are you not invested? I'm asking. I'm just asking.
HD lawsuit thing is kind of interesting. I want to see how that progresses. And
your cases aren't even the same thing. So you don't even have the same type of grounds of a complaint. So we can go ahead and scratch that. That's literally not even the same thing.
See if anyone actually gets slapped with anything as a result of this policy change or not, and we'll go from there.
Who are you watching? Like, who are you expecting to come out of the woodworks and whatnot? Are you expecting Moist Critical, Mr. He wouldn't let you on his podcast? Are you expecting him to get hit? He talks about a lot of people. He uses clips of a lot of people. Are you expecting him to get hit? Because he slighted you? Are you expecting Asmongold to get hit? Because he slighted you? Is June the King going to take a hit? He talks about a lot of people. He uses a lot of clips from a bunch of shit. I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
But I'm not sweating it. I'm not caring about it. To me, it's just business as usual. Okay. So, Ricari did a $10 super chat. And Ricari says, RimWorld is a good game, but it is totally not for your style or audience. It's just my advice.
That's hilarious. He basically said you have no business even looking at that game. Don't bother with it. That's fucking hilarious. But then again, after getting fucking shit on by that dev on Twitter or X, whatever, I'm sure that didn't help much either. So womp womp. I'm surprised DSP won't play RimWorld just out of spite. I'm really surprised he won't do that. He might. I give him enough time.
Did you see that YouTube says as of July 15th, restreamers that aren't transformative will be demonetized? We already talked about that, Ricari. So the funny part about that is YouTube did an addendum and claims, oh, that's not even a change to our policy. That's always been in effect. So the question is, if it's always been in effect, then why have they allowed it for so long? It very well could be that now they're just saying they're finally going to enforce their own rules.
I mean, they need to do the same thing to him. Like honestly, like the abuse of TOS that DSP has done, not just on Twitch, but on YouTube in particular, he should be banned for that, or he should at least be demonetized, if you will. You know what I'm saying? At the very least. So, and keep in mind, he can keep beating the drum to this. Just like on Twitch, they may very well implement any type of changes or punishments on him more than his actual, trolls or whatever. Something to think about.
I don't know. But like I said earlier, what's going to happen is on this day when it goes into effect, anyone who is restreaming is going to be mass flagged because people are going to want to see if this works or not. And it'll go from there. Maybe YouTube will actually enforce their policies and maybe they won't. I'm going to be doing my own thing as always. I'll be making original content. I'm not going to.
Oh shit, I might have fucked up. Okay, sorry. What I might have been muted. I might have been muted. Okay, what I said was that's what DSP is holding on to. He's holding on to this idea that of the original content part, right? Because in every article that's been written on this, you keep seeing original content, right? So you got all this AI stuff that's out here. For example, the Caitlin Clark situation. The Caitlin Clark Angel Reese rivalry or whatever wasn't a rivalry, but it never was. It was something manufactured and it just didn't work for various reasons. Mainly because Angel's not as talented as people think she is. Just because she got cake doesn't mean that she can play ball. So she's no different than any other Instagram chick if you think about it from that standpoint. Anyway, and anywho, you got a lot of AI channels that have been covering that, right? Like they cover it a lot. And a lot of them are really just copy paste. It's like the same shit and it's slightly formatted in a different way. But it's pretty much the exact same shit. Same AI script and this, that, and the third. They're going to really try to clamp down on shit like that. Now keep in mind, they're not taking those channels down. They're just going to demonetize them. So keep that in mind. They're just going to be demonetized. These people can always reapply and get monetization again.
Be restreaming anyone, so I'm not worried. But everyone on the planet restreams me. They should probably be worried because people are going to be mass flagging each other. You have to understand something about the troll community.
Here, let me bring that part back again. Sorry for that mute. I don't know how long I was muted for. It's probably nothing more than a few seconds. All right, here we go.
That now they're just saying they're finally going to enforce their own rules. I don't know. But like I said earlier, what's going to happen is on this day when it goes into effect, anyone who is restreaming is going to be mass flagged because people are going to want to see if this works or not. And it'll go from there. Maybe YouTube will actually enforce their policies and maybe they won't. I'm going to be doing my own thing as always. I'll be making original content. I'm not going to be restreaming anyone, so I'm not worried. But everyone on the planet restreams me. They should probably be worried because people are going to be mass flagging each other. You have to understand something about the troll community.
And here's the thing, real fast, before he talks about this bullshit. Even if what happens, even what he says that's going to happen happens, it doesn't change anything. Because anybody who's monetized doing DSP content, guess what? They weren't monetized before they started to get monetized. So why would they stop? Like that doesn't change anything. Like maybe a few people might fall away from by the wayside, but that doesn't stop the overall. On top of that, unless you can completely eradicate the menace, nothing's going to change. And even if he did do that, then DSP just fades out. If DSP doesn't have a troll community he doesn't have a detractor community, whatever, then he dies. To make a long story short. So one of two things happens. If everybody who exists currently ends up getting faded out or ends up stepping away or whatever, either a whole new group of people come in to take their place, or DSP just fades out. End of story. He just dies out. He'll never get any growth in his audience. No one's gonna want to collaborate him because of whatever, because there's so much content on the internet, not just YouTube, but there's so much content on the internet that no matter what, you'll be able to find in a quick Google search who DSP is, who DarkSidePhil is, who Phil Burnell is. He'll never be able to escape anything. It changes nothing. It really doesn't. Whatever.
These idiots attack each other on a regular basis. They do. They try to thwart each other and one-up each other. They're morons. So I guarantee you they're going to be trying to take each other down and doing fucked up stuff.
Now, there's a bunch of problems in the DSP Detractor community, like in any troll community. So that is what it is. I'd like to know, though, where this comes from. Because I heard that DSP recently saw a video that came out a few years ago when Ann and a bunch of other people got ended up, losing their channels and all that nonsense that was going on. And I think that's what he's actually drawn from, to be honest. But that video was only brought to him within the last 6 months. So I'm wondering if he's referring to that video in particular. We'll see. We'll see and whatnot. If it comes up again, then I'll actually go ahead and pull the video up and we'll watch it. And I'll give you guys a bit more context to what it is. But the person who told me that this is the video that DSP had seen recently or some dent sent to him, it makes sense. Now, unless it's a troll, which it could be. So we'll see how that works out. But that's what I'm thinking.
I'll be sitting here making my own content, just watching the world burn around me because it's not even my world. Remember, this whole weird orbiting world of morons around me, I have nothing to do with that.
And yet you're the center of it, according to him. I want you to think about that. Look like a straight retard right here too, by the way, Phil. That's real classy, Phil. That's the drip that these kids out here come to you to see. Oh man, that's so sad. You really should change your posture, Phil. It's not good for you to slump over like that. Done? That's it?
Habib did a £7 33 super chat, which is the equivalent of $10 USD, which means as of right now, it is absolutely
nothing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's my case in particular. That's the evidence that I have and whatnot. How do you talk with such absolutes like that and you don't know nothing? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know? How do you know? It makes you think. Any case, ladies and gentlemen. How do you know? How do you know? I really, really wonder. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Okay, what are we gonna do here to close up shop? Holy shit, bro. Like, how do you know? Like, he says it, and like I said, ladies and gentlemen, he says it with a type of certainty. Excuse me. He says that with a type of certainty that it's obvious that he knows. But how do you know? Let's have a nightcap with this. Holy shit. But how does he know? How does he know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that on the 15th of July 15th of 2025, anybody who is restreaming DarkSidePhil is going to be flagged down, or is going to be flagged? How does he know? How does he know with that type of certainty? How can he have so much confidence about that? It makes you think. It really should. That shit should make you think, because that's normal people don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't speak in absolutes like that about a subject like that. Nobody in their right mind on Twitch would ever say, yeah, you know, these people who've been fucking with me, man, on this day, they're gonna all get fucked over. They're all gonna get screwed over, and they have it coming. And all their channels are gonna get hit too. The only person who talks with that type of ignorance is fucking low tier God. And that shit's come back on his ass so many goddamn times. That's why he's still crying to YouTube all the time to get his original channel back. Which actually, this is a super funny thing about that. The super funny thing about that, the original link to DarkSidePhil or to LTG's channel, you can still find it. Like, right? Like you can go into any LTG troll circle and you can find it, right? And whenever LTG does something, they just report that URL back to YouTube. Now, initially I was thinking, well, wait a second, he has an active YouTube channel currently. Why don't you want to hit that shit? And the way Homeboy told me was like, what's the fucking point of doing that shit? He'll just make another one. Who gives a shit about that? Keep hitting the original one. We keep doing that, then one, we can hit him if he eventually ever gets hit. He'll get hit for ban evasion, and two, it makes it even harder for him to get his original channel back. Absolute fucking cinema. Absolute fucking cinema. I didn't even think about it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you would think once a channel's taken down, the original URL is useless to you. Nah, son. Nah, them LTG trolls got shit figured out. They got shit figured out. And initially that's what I thought. I was like, well, damn, that's on some new tech that I didn't know about. See, everything starts somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna be real fast with this part. Back over there in the beauty community, back in the day, Dramageddon and all that bullshit, when motherfuckers were going after each other's sponsorships, they were going after each other's channels and stuff like that too. A lot of these beauty community channels had multiple channels lined up, just in case something happens, whatever. And they were already doing stuff on it, so it wasn't really ban evasion because they're kind of already doing shit on that channel, this, that, and the third. Especially if they were, you know, streaming or if they were just making content. Well, someone back in, this is many, many years ago, figured out that, hey, keep the original URL for that shit and flag that shit every time this person over here says something you don't like, instead of just going after that channel. So they would go after the channel in question, and they would go after the original channel that's already taken down to make it harder to get that original channel back. So it wasn't something that's new to the LTG shit. I'm not saying any of the LTG boys learned about it over there, but it's a tactic that's already been used, basically, and whatnot. So it's some crazy shit. It gets even deeper than that, but we'll save that for another time. What do you guys think, ladies and gentlemen? How do you guys feel? Do you think it's not even speculation? This isn't slander. This isn't hyperbole. He said it twice. He said it twice in two separate situations. You'll see the timestamp for both. This is what he's doing. And he thinks July 15th is going to be his Independence Day, I guess, or whatever. But make of that what you will. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. Hopefully. This is all this flagging's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Snort Report. This is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh, yes. A GTG Network and Productions. For the Snort Report, Heart Snorts Genitonic, and all of our subsidiaries and affiliates, I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Oh boy, it's must be hard out here for these false flaggots doing bullshit. But you know what I'm saying? A fish gotta swim, right? Take care of yourselves, people. Take care of yourselves, people. Later.